Yes, guys, in today's video, 10 things you might have missed from Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. We're going to delve into the simple brilliance that is Cole Palmer. We're going to go and dive into the intricacies and the depths of what made Chelsea's win against Brighton this weekend such a big one for the football club. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. This is the series that we're doing this season after big games. We're going to look at the positives, the negatives. It's a bit more of a in-detail video as opposed to the 6 things we learned, which is always quite an emotional post-match reaction. It's usually uploaded about 20 minutes after full time, which is pretty good going if I say so myself. When I look at the different halves that we saw, football, it's one of the classic cliche adage phrases that football is a game of 2 halves. This was absolutely that. You had the first half, which was just pure chaos, pure commotion, typical modern era Chelsea Football Club. And then you had the second half, which for me epitomised what was like the old successful Chelsea. And I mean like the early days where we just shut down and squeeze the life out of the game and still get the result. But at the same time, you've got those individuals out there that were making things happen. The reality of the situation is if Chelsea scored double figures worth of goals in this match, no one could have looked at anything and been like, well, they don't really deserve that, to be fair. If you take a look here at the overall match stats, we were not quite dominated with possession, but we didn't have as much of the ball as we'd have liked to. Pass accuracy, Brighton beat us there as well. We committed more fouls, but we were clinical. Not 100% clinical, but still. We were getting shots away, getting shots on target, and blimey, Cole Palmer is just sensational. Before we go into quite how brilliant he is and look at some of the details behind that performance, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor. Now, as men, we're proud beings, and you don't want to believe that maybe you are the 1 in 4 that suffer from low testosterone, and that is why I have partnered up here on GBFC with Manual so that you guys get 45% off your testosterone testing kit using the link in the description. Low testosterone, it's a problem. If you want to have a high sex drive but you don't, this could be because your testosterone levels are not where they should be. As much as it might seem a little bit taboo to some of us, this is something that as men, we should all desire to address within our lives, at least to know what our testosterone levels are. Manual will send you a kit. You basically receive this little prick thing that you put in your finger in the kit. You drip that blood into a little vial, you send it back to Manual, they'll give you a comprehensive result, and then they can tailor a plan to you to make sure that low testosterone is no longer an issue prevalent in your life. So make sure you use the link in the description and use the code Benson45 for 45% off your testosterone testing kit. Thank you to Manual for helping us solve this issue that we have with men today in modern day society. And let's get back into the video. Where do we start? As if we haven't already gone through enough about this guy. I want to take a little look, first of all, at the stats from him so far this season. Got this from a website called FBref. He's played 6 games, 505 minutes, 6 goals, 4 assists, an XG of 3.7, expected assists as well of 3.2. So he's outperforming the amount of goals he should be scoring and the amount of assists that he should be getting. And to be fair, he could have even more than this. Even in that first half, which, again, record-breaking Cole Palmer, but the first 20 minutes, he wasn't really involved in the game whatsoever. And I want to show you now what I was saying on my live stream, because I literally said this, and then you got the goal reactions. Check this out. I've not really seen Cole Palmer touch the ball yet either, by the way, so... Yes! Come on! Cole Palmer for Chelsea. Chelsea's talisman. Cole Palmer again. From the spot, it's Palmer, it's 2-1 to Chelsea, tucks it in to the bottom left-hand corner. It is absolutely brilliant. The man is magic. I'm telling you, he is the best thing, not only since sliced bread, but sliced bread with butter on it. He's the best thing since Eden Hazard left Chelsea after winning us another European trophy. Cole Palmer, ladies and gentlemen, he's hit the post. He scored a goal. He scored another one in 7 minutes. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer. Oh my God! What a goal! Oh, I love him. I absolutely love him. Palmer's in again, and he scores again. He's on the tip of your tongue every time he plays football. You cannot blink. You cannot close your eyes. You cannot go a game where you don't watch Cole Palmer on a football pitch and just think, wow, how blessed are we? How lucky are we to be able to witness a man with this kind of ability, to witness a man in only his second ever season in the top flight of English football score 4 in 40 minutes. And this is the great thing about where Chelsea are at right now. When you've got a player that has this much ability, SofaScore, as you can see here, they've got this performance as a 10 out of 10. It literally is pure footballing perfection. Not only does the man score ridiculous goals of various different nature. Yes, there's a penalty in there. There is a goal where all he's got to do is basically tap it in, but it's not quite a tap in. The free kick is just absolutely outrageous. And the technique behind the fourth goal is just simply sublime. And when you look here, 28, this number here on this graphic is shot creating actions. 28 shot creating actions in 6 matches. This guy is literally right now not single-handedly carrying Chelsea because we've got players scoring from all over the field. It's totally the wrong narrative to still say that it's Cole Palmer FC. Last season, for too often, it was Cole Palmer FC. But this year, everybody is providing. Everybody is turning up now. And I'm not looking at the performances that we saw on Saturday and saying that everyone's perfect. That's absolutely not the case. But when it comes to Cole Palmer, there is this element of looking at him sometimes and just being like, he's actually the perfect footballer. There was a moment when he comes out, it was the start of the second half and the players are all coming out the tunnel, and he walks back out there onto the field at Stamford Bridge. And the word aura kind of gets thrown around a lot these days in football, but the man literally looks as though he owns the place. And to be quite honest, as much as theoretically, like, on paper, it's not Cole Palmer Stadium. The reality of the situation is, man, this guy waltzes around, he dances around, he's playing his own song, he's literally creating his own scripts, and it is on a different level to anything that we have seen in so long. That moment where he comes out for the start of the second half, he's trying to talk to someone that he knows in the crowd, he's just smiling, covering his mouth when he's talking to the players he's coming out with. He's just such a great footballer to watch. These are the comments here from our manager on Cole Palmer. He's a special player, a simple guy, a humble guy. He doesn't need to tell people how good he is because you can clearly see it. For sure, when you score 4 goals, it is a great performance. But I said to Cole, he scored 4. He could have scored 2 or 3 more. So it's good that he continues to be hungry and ambitious. This is absolutely amazing in terms of the way that Maresca's speaking here about Palmer. And I think it's so important when you're a player of Cole Palmer's ability. I'm going to talk a little bit now about Eden Hazard. Because in terms of the comparisons, I've got my own personal comparisons. There is people making comparisons about Hazard because Cole Palmer is the guy that gets you off your seat. Cole Palmer is the guy that when he's got the ball, you're not really sure what's going to happen, but you're earing on the idea that it's going to be good. It's going to be special. There's going to be something that only he can see, the same way that Eden Hazard would look at 4 or 5 players in front of him and be like, well, I'm going to go left there, right there. And it's all autonomous. What Cole Palmer does is seemingly autonomous. And the way that Maresca is saying here that, yeah, you could have had 2 or 3 more, mate. I think the levels that this guy can absolutely go to can even exceed that of Eden Hazard. And I would say that in a way, as much as like it's not always the right thing to do to just be like, oh, he's better than that guy or he's worse than that guy. It's seemingly pointless. Like everyone is just so obsessed with like Messi or Ronaldo. Why can't we just appreciate they're both brilliant? And what I want to say here about Hazard, because I think this is such an exciting thing that we have in Palmer, is that there were times when Eden Hazard would just look like he wasn't really interested. And then by default, nothing would really happen. The form of the team was kind of getting to him, and then he was kind of just another product of that and wasn't delivering to the standards that he could. Yes, there were still times where Hazard dragged Chelsea out of the mud and just single-handedly delivered brilliance. Cole Palmer's done that, but now I think it's the hunger of Palmer and the fact that even when things aren't good, I don't really see any dips in his attention. And I think that is the comparison I want to make here to Hazard, because as much as Eden Hazard has got such a long-lasting legacy over the course of multiple seasons, he was just delivering sumptuous stuff for Chelsea Football Club. Cole Palmer isn't really he's not even halfway into his second season yet, but the numbers are just flabbergasting. But it's, for me, the way that he just seems to love his football and nothing seems to faze him. Whether it is 95 minutes, Chelsea are losing a game of football, this guy believes in his ability tenfold. And it doesn't come across with any crazy arrogance. It doesn't come across in any kind of way where you think, well, let's hope he doesn't get carried away. Let's hope that the fact that he knows he's so good doesn't overtake that ability that he could have if he just naturally lets his game progress. And I think when it comes to Palmer, there's no doubts in my mind that with a manager like Maresca that keeps him on his toes, who reminds him that even if the levels that he's hitting are really quite extraordinary, which they absolutely are, there's still chances there that he could have scored. And I think that is the mad thing when you look at this game, is that even just before his first goal, there's an offside goal, great finish by the way, and he hits the post. The amount of times this guy gets into the right position with the Chelsea teammates finding him that we have right now, it's quite scary just how far this guy can go. And the moment for me that just epitomizes just how crazy Cole Palmer is, I'm going to probably show you screenshots here because I don't think I can play any of this footage, but 48 minutes and 13 seconds in the match has been played. And you can see Cole Palmer here in the bottom right corner of this screenshot. He's just jogging back. You can see Nicholas Jackson there behind him. And Cole Palmer's moving back into this position. And if we play this video now, count how many seconds it is before Cole Palmer makes that pass. And considering he's got his back to his teammates here, and he can't see the position of the Brighton backline, he can't see Nicholas Jackson, look how quickly this pass happens from this position. 4 seconds later, and Cole Palmer has created an opportunity that Brighton defenders can't see coming, that Nicholas Jackson has anticipated incredibly well, but yet doesn't finish. The Cole Palmer free kick is obviously mad. All of the goals he scores are better than an assist that wasn't quite an assist. But this moment just shows the intelligence. This shows the footballing IQ. And if you look at Cole Palmer's heat map here as to where he spends the most time on the pitch, he's absolutely everywhere for this Chelsea team. And remember, we had a right winger in this game, and Cole Palmer is playing as a number 10. But to see so much of the ball around these areas where Nicholas Jackson is obviously so good at hugging that defender and getting himself in between, this would have been such an incredible goal if Nicholas Jackson puts this in. But this is what we're getting here from Cole Palmer. He knows, and within 4 seconds, he's made a run to go back on himself, but then create an opportunity that is at the front and center of just making things happen. This is unprecedented levels of brilliance. It is absolutely superb that in 4 seconds, the guy can create that. And as much as I could sit here all day waxing lyrical about just how brilliant Cole Palmer is, I want to talk about Nicholas Jackson now, because a lot of you guys said that I was a bit harsh on him in the 6 Things We Learnt video. I would say that I agree with you to an extent. I think there was definitely players that deserved a lot more scrutiny in the boxes of the series, but I stand by what I said about Nicholas Jackson, because when Chelsea are playing the way that they are right now, when you've got the amount of options that we've got from the bench, I want to show you Nicholas Jackson's stats here because these are unbelievable. But this, again, highlights what I'm talking about when it comes to the standards and the quality that absolutely needs to be adhered to game on game. This is Nicholas Jackson. Played 6, 442 minutes, 4 goals, 3 assists from an XG of 4.7 with an expected assist tally of 1. 12 shot creating actions and 5 goal creating actions. This, for the first 6 games of a Premier League season, is absolutely outstanding. But you've also got a player who scored a hat-trick on Tuesday night who goes by the name of Christopher Nkunku, and we all know Christopher Nkunku is too good of a finisher, too good of a footballer to keep on warming the bench in the Premier League. So, Nicholas Jackson, I think he's got to score that chance that we just went into detail there when Cole Palmer goes back, plays the assist over the top. He's got to score that. Nicholas Jackson, as much as he didn't play badly at all, and I think people got a bit carried away, it wasn't a red box. I didn't say Jackson was bad. I didn't say that he was awful. I just said that when there is this much competition, when you've got someone who is such a clinical finisher, who is desperate to get out there on the field, such as Christopher Nkunku on the bench, I don't think there is any time for any errors right now in the Chelsea side. And it would be the same for Nkunku. If Nkunku comes on next week and plays against Forest, and then he doesn't do anything in 60 minutes, then Jackson comes on. And it's a debate. I'm not saying for sure that Jackson should be dropped. In fact, I'm not saying he should be dropped at all. I'm just saying he's got to be careful that it doesn't happen too often. Because last season, it happened too often. This season, he looks as though he's finishing better. But that game, I think he could have had a couple of goals himself. Obviously, when Victor Osimhen didn't sign for Chelsea at the end of the transfer window, a lot of people were upset about it. I was upset about it. And since then, we've seen a response from Jackson. We've seen goals from Jackson. We're seeing goals from Nkunku every single time he starts for Chelsea. And we're seeing him score off the bench as well. So I'm not worried about Victor Osimhen not coming if the strikers keep scoring. But when it comes to my analysis of Nicholas Jackson, one too many. And I absolutely believe that Jackson will get to a point where he does finish this every single time. It's a brilliant clearance as well. Take nothing away from the Brighton defender, but I think Jackson could have got it out from under his feet a little bit quicker. I always try to admit if I think I've got something wrong. Maybe I could have given a red to Sanchez. We'll talk about him a little bit now, but I still think I would have said a yellow for Nicholas Jackson. So let's discuss here Robert Sanchez. Mistakes happen. We're all human, except the legend Cole Palmer. Nice one. Thank you, fans. This group can achieve big things together. One day I help. The next day, they help me. This is how we grow as a team. After the recent performances from Robert Sanchez, I've given him a lot of credit. I've given him a lot of praise. And to be honest, he's been absolutely saved here by the brilliance of Cole Palmer, by Chelsea's astonishing attack. There is no denying whatsoever that there are two catastrophic errors in Robert Sanchez here today, or on Saturday, that have led to 2 goals directly. It's awful. It isn't good enough. And the reality of the situation is, right, as a Chelsea fan who is back in the team right now, believing that we can go somewhere, I'm going to talk a bit later on in this video about just how far that could be. At the same time, this is the Sanchez that I'd said that I need to see is the one that turns up with big saves every game, that doesn't have a disaster waiting around every corner. And to have 2 of them in the space of half an hour in this match is just criminal, to be quite honest. And look, I'm not going to say that he needs to be dropped straight away, because I think what we're seeing right now from Chelsea is a winning formula, and I don't think Maresca is going to change it too dramatically just based off of one mistake, which is why, again, I said Jackson will probably start the next game, and he should do. And I think it's basically confirmed with the comments from Enzo Maresca after the game, speaking specifically about Robert Sanchez, which will confirm that he'll probably will start the next game. I said to Robert and I said to the players, from now on, we are going to concede 10 more goals like the way we conceded that second goal, because it is the way we want to play. And we've already scored goals with Robert involved in the build-up. I'm hoping that we don't have to concede 10 from a shitty back pass from the goalkeeper for him to make one amazing assist once every few weeks. Like, as much as I absolutely love Enzo Maresca, let's not get it wrong. I think he's fantastic. I think the way that he's changed the way that we're playing, the results that we're getting, our league position specifically, is absolutely sensational. But these comments here regarding we're going to concede 10 more goals like this, like, no. Can we just be better, Sanchez? Like, in all honesty, I've grown up watching Carlo Cudicini. Unbelievable. Even Ed De Hoy, solid keeper. Petr Cech, outrageous. Thibaut Courtois, probably still the best in the world right now, or one of. So, like, I need better. I expect better. And as much as I've praised Sanchez, and that praise remains, like, 2 shocking errors, and I don't really want to hear it validated like this, if I'm being very honest. But let's see what happens in the next game. Regarding the comments that Enzo Maresca has made about this victory, and I want to give my thoughts here. I don't think I enjoyed this win more than the rest. It was simply because I think it was our most important game of the season for many reasons, and I was happy with the result and the performance, said Maresca. I completely agree. I think winning matches away from home, the way that Chelsea had been playing, was going to happen. Teams that want to kind of be lulled into this false sense of security, I think. When teams look at the way that Chelsea were quite easy to play against before, I think now with Maresca as the manager, we've got an added level. We have got a double-edged sword. It isn't just get the ball to Palmer and he score. Ironically, that happened 4 times in this match, but it's the way that we're going about it. So many people that analyse football or get paid to talk about football in the media will simply look at the Brighton defending and tell you that it was the fact that Brighton's defending was appalling. They'll say the same about West Ham, because it's easier to do that than heap a load of praise on Chelsea Football Club, a side that scored 3 last weekend, 5 in midweek, 4 again at the weekend in one half. The reality of the situation, guys, is Maresca has these Chelsea players playing. And let's be real, as much as I don't want to have my heart like beating out of my chest every time because we look like the goalie's going to give the ball to the opponents and we're going to concede 2 goals in a half. I don't want that to be the case, but if we're going to go and score 4 down the other end, I don't care. I said before this match, I don't mind if it's an own goal and a 1-0, as long as we get 3 points. Because what Chelsea need to do right now is keep on feeding the momentum. It's like a parasite, right? You keep eating a load of sugar, the parasite's going to thrive. Right now for Chelsea, it's about feeding the machine, getting it bigger, making it keep working. We've seen enough in the last couple of weeks to show that we can win matches and not play that well. We can take our odd chance that we saw away at Bournemouth. That was the start of this winning run. You go to West Ham, and again, it isn't just about West Ham being poor defensively. It's about Chelsea being intricate with the way that we play in the final third. Picking and choosing the moments, but the big difference between the way that we're passing the ball under Enzo Maresca compared to what we saw at this time last year was that players aren't just holding on to the football for 20 touches without releasing it. Everybody's moving around. We're getting rid of the ball quickly. And it's the same as the Palmer chance that we analysed earlier where he runs back and puts the ball over for Nicholas Jackson to go through that he missed. That is a prime example. You've got your centre-back on the ball, but he sees Palmer's already making the run back. He's got that intelligence, but then we're also not holding on to it for too long. We're releasing it quickly. When we look forward to the game against Forest and we think about the way that we've played against Forest at the Bridge in recent years, we got beat last season, and what they did so well was just frustrate us. Put 10 men behind the ball, and we struggled to break it down. But another player that I want to talk to you guys about now is Jadon Sancho. And when it comes to we talk about Cole Palmer being the best bargain of last year, maybe the best bargain of the flipping decade right now, at 40 million, if Jadon Sancho keeps the levels that we're seeing up right now and assists in every single game, he also won a penalty as well for us at the weekend, did very well with his movement there too. But these little intricacies of movement that we're seeing from Jadon Sancho in the final third, this is what Chelsea have been missing. This is what made it so difficult for Chelsea to break teams apart. And why last season, when teams would just sit back and have that big fat defensive line that we just didn't know if we just keep crossing, you got Palmer making these outrageous passes now without even thinking. You got Jadon Sancho with the trickery, with the footwork, the nutmegs, the little touch of the ball, drawing the foul. This is how you break teams down that are just going to sit back and defend. And I think Jadon Sancho, it's no surprise to me that he comes in here at Chelsea. You look at what's going on at Manchester United right now. Erik ten Hag is an absolute joke. I want him to stay because I don't like Man United. I'm a Chelsea fan. But I actually feel, in a way, for Manchester United fans who can see how he's just sapping the life out of the club. He sapped the life and soul out of Jadon Sancho. And he needed to go back to London, put on a Chelsea shirt again to remind himself that he's actually a quality footballer. He was being punished by Ten Hag because Ten Hag's ego is too big. You look at United now, they couldn't create a chance out of anything. You couldn't give them flipping the Elder Wand and ask them to score a goal or create a chance at the moment. Jadon Sancho comes to Chelsea, and within seconds of coming on at Bournemouth, you can see the player that he is again. Quick feet, and Chelsea are thriving with this right now. Jadon Sancho, I've been so happy with the way that he's come into this Chelsea team. And he's grabbed the fact, he's thrown it away. You've seen a couple of little sarcastic social media posts as well, which I'm not going to lie, I love it. I think there's been so much weight on his shoulders that has been unnecessary. Maybe it was slightly self-inflicted, but I think the reason why Sancho has come to Chelsea and has made such an impact so quickly is down to Enzo Maresca. I think we absolutely here need to spend some time and talk about the brilliance that is the way that Enzo Maresca has come into this club. It's always nice to share that kind of moment with our fans. After 2 wins in a row away, it is always difficult to keep that momentum because many times you can think 2 wins away and you can drop a little bit. So it was important to continue with that momentum. And also the game didn't start in the way we planned the game. So I think it was just a good moment. This is it. Maresca can see it himself. So many times when Chelsea go a goal behind and it's not really like part of the plan, we're clueless. We don't have any ideas. The onus isn't on us to really dig in. And I said it in the 6 things we learned, the maturity that we saw in the second half to take the sting out of the game. And it was so chaotic and crazy. And we were on the correct end of that because we've got the best player in the world right now who can score 4 goals. But it's the way that we calmed it down in the second half. And I want to talk about Maresca's substitutions here. And as much as we might say, well, we should have seen Nkunku, maybe we wanted to, score more goals or whatever, but it's the Renato Vega and the Romeo Lavia substitutions for me that were just immense. I was so nervous on the live stream in that second half because I'm so used to seeing Chelsea throw it away. I'm so used to seeing Chelsea be leaky. Hell, we even saw it in the first half. Leaking goals from stupid errors. I'm like, surely we can't be perfect here. And we were. Renato Vega comes on and the man is just a bundle of energy. What a signing, by the way. Romeo Lavia, another player that we didn't have last season. Enforcer in the middle. Unbelievable quality on the ball. Composure to win it in front of the back line and then get rid of it quickly. Fantastic. And that is something that Pochettino might not have had in abundance last year. So who knows what we could have been without injuries. But bloody hell am I not going to waste your time by saying that here on GBFC. I'm going to praise Enzo Maresca for the way that he's managing these games, the way that his substitutions change the games, and the way that he's now seeing out games with the substitutions. Hallelujah. We have been waiting for this for so flipping long. My manager, absolutely love it from Enzo Maresca. I think overall, he's spot on. This was the most important game. We needed a win at Stamford Bridge, and we need to keep building. And Nottingham Forest now this weekend, they just lost for the first time against Fulham this weekend at home. So this game coming up now this weekend against Forest is now the biggest game of the season because Chelsea fans are starting to dream. Chelsea fans are starting to look at City drawing 2 in a row. Arsenal not playing that well, still winning. But is it possible for Chelsea to be in a title challenger? I want to finish this video by talking about this because look, you guys know I'm the first one to criticise someone, then flip-flop the next week. Look, this is football, okay? I make videos about everything Chelsea. I've done this for 5 flipping years, okay? So, yes, of course, people will be like, oh, you're a flip-flop. You don't like Pochettino, you don't like... Shut up. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, football is a sport where results change opinions quickly. Football is a sport where if you're in the Champions League, you're doing all right, but then you start to think, well, can we win the trophy? Because that's what this is all about. Chelsea Football Club should be lifting Premier Leagues. It's very difficult when you've got a juggernaut like Man City who, even if they break 115 rules, potentially, they can still get given titles. You've got teams like Liverpool that have been managed by Jurgen Klopp, who I think is probably the best manager in the world for the last however many years. Guardiola as well. Sensational managers. Let's just be real. So for Enzo Maresca to come in and make the start that he's made, I'm going to stay delighted with it. And the more we keep winning, the more I will let my brain delve into that little realm of, we could do it, couldn't we? I'm not going to sit here right now and say that we're going to win the league. But if we carry on the way that we're going, and I think this is the key. This is the key point I want to make. We're growing right now. We're improving game by game right now. And the ceiling of the players has not even been touched yet. We're not anywhere near max capacity. Even Cole Palmer could have scored 2 or 3 more. And he's got a manager now telling him that and reminding him that. The standards are going up and up and up, guys. So yes, we could challenge. We've just got to keep going with it right now. Forest at home will be tough. There won't be as many holes in the defence as there were against Brighton and West Ham. Yes. Then we go to Anfield after the international break. And then we'll know a lot more about this Chelsea team. We're learning so much right now. And I want to keep covering it for you every day here on GBFC. There might be a second video today, but I'm aware that this is 30 minutes long. So I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you learned a bit more about the win. I hope we've got to enjoy it a little bit more because trust me, these are so much fun. I love making videos for you lot when Chelsea are winning. I love my job at the best of times, but right now, I'm so excited. I'm so optimistic about this team. I think we're only going to keep getting better. Shout out Palmer. I love him. Shout out Maresca. I love him too. And Mark Cucurella. Anyway, your thoughts in the comments down below. Come on, you Blues.